Well, we're here to share our thoughts around the facility we have here. But I also think that it is very important that I start with a story that will cover my own experience too as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the last 3 years plus. It's been a wonderful experience, and for those who know me very well, and I'm sure you all do, I probably will have put in close to about 32 years of corporate experience before coming on this journey. So, well, it's been a very interesting journey, and the experience has been very, very great. But it's important that I also try to explain myself a bit in the approach with which I have handled this responsibility as a senator of the Federal Republic. Like you all know, the real responsibility of senators or legislators is lawmaking and, of course, oversighting and all of that. Really advanced to a very appreciable level is the reform or the need to reform the insurance industry, both in terms of the players and, of course, the regulator. So we've gone through public hearing and we're finalizing to go for the final, for the third reading. Equally, we're also trying to rethink the NDIC Act. I'm sure some of you will have come across some of the things that have gone viral relating to NDIC. So that is on the side of legislation. But again, another expected role that most legislators have assumed is in the area of empowerment. Because again, all politics are local. So in the area of empowerment, I'll quickly just run through some of the things that I have done and I will continue to work on. So, so in the last 3.5 years, I will have facilitated, that is the right word, because I didn't use my money to do it. So through facilitation and all of that, done about 20 primary and secondary schools across the entire Lagos East Senatorial District. About 20, and they are well documented. So the document you have in front of you, if you go to page 8 of it, you see all of those primary schools well documented there. That's on page 8. Then in the area of health, if you get to page 9, you also see that I've facilitated about 3 different primary health centers. They've been completed and they've also been equipped. So what we're doing next is to commission them. So those ones have also been done. Again, we also know that we have issues with rural electrification and all of that. I'm also happy to say that I have been able to at least install and put transformers in over 25 different communities across the entire senatorial district. And in the area of sports development, because I'm also very particular about our youth who are resourceful, but again very restless. So I've been able to facilitate a 960 capacity stadium in Ekwe. If you look at your page 11, I think there are about, yes, that's the page where you will find it there. And of course, there are other mini sports centers in Mota, Eredo, and in Sherry. And in the area of economic empowerment as well, I also facilitated the construction of the major and famous Olusi market in Ekwe. And that, in doing it again, we improved the facilities there. The capacity was about 259. Today is about 322. And we also equipped it with about 12 toilets to make it convenient for those who are trading there and those who go there to trade. And of course, in the area of, yesterday we speak about food insecurity and all of that. As a rule, since the last election, on a quarterly basis, I have made it a duty upon myself to get involved in food distribution across the entire district. So on a quarterly basis, we distribute food items in a dignified manner to an average of about 8,000 families on a quarterly basis. We did it twice last year, we have done it twice this year, we are still going to repeat it. We do it on a quarterly, and we will have touched about 30,000 different families, and we have a distribution model that makes sure it gets to the real and to all of the people in the district without looking at your face as either APC or PDP. So we make sure that that is also done in a fair manner. And in the area of also trying to support our people from a socio-economic point of view, we have also instituted a constituency revolving loan to support micro, small, and medium enterprises. This has been on since 2022. And we started with a takeoff grant of about 300 million. Now, and I'm happy to say And it's one of the reasons why the MP of Bank of Industry is here. And they also supported us at the initial take-up, and they're still giving us the support. So part of what we are doing today is that we are retweaking the model, because the model we used to use was the lending to those people is done through Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And we do it at what you describe as a concessional interest rate of 6% per annum, which of course is very convenient for all of them. But again, because of the scrutiny, because we don't ask for collateral, we just need to make sure that a proper KYC is done. So the turnaround period for those facilities looks a bit lengthy. So part of what we are rethinking is now to go through the cooperative model. And that is why I'm very happy the Commissioner for Cooperative, for Commerce and Cooperatives is here. So our Lascota people, we have gotten to a very advanced level in speaking to them, and they have agreed we are going to operate a cooperative model, meaning that their fate will be in their own hands. So they just need to be registered, and we give the money to them. Equally, our market women, we are also equally doing the same. So that those are part of the things we are going to unveil in the next couple of months. Latest by October, we should finalize, so that it will be a lot easier. They will be doing the lending amongst themselves, and given this arrangement, there perhaps won't be any need for us to charge them anything. It's not, it's not as if we need the interest, but it's just to get a commitment from them so as to kind of, keep the value of the portfolio in a reasonable manner. So that is by way of empowerment. And lastly, because I also know that the issue of infrastructure is very key. Yes, it is the role of the executive, but a major part of the infrastructure that I've looked at in my own corridor is the Ikorodu-Itoekin road. For those who are familiar with that road, it used to be very horrible. The journey time used to be endless, almost 3 hours. Today it has been stabilized. The gradual improvement is going on it, but I can attest, and I'm sure those who fly that road, but I'm sure that's the road you took this morning, sir. No. Oh, you know, because I thought that was what you're going to take. Okay. But what I would like to say is that the journey time of 3 hours plus that typically that it should take people, today under 35-40 minutes you are done. Just based on the stability of that road. But again, we have a commitment, because it's an approved contract from the federal government that they will rehabilitate. And if you look at the front page of this particular document, you can see the photograph of myself, the governor, and the Minister of Works speaks volume to this particular project. This was when we went to thank him for, the commitment to fund the rehabilitation. And like Oliver Twist, we were able to twist his hands on that very day to actually dualize that particular corridor. So those are the steps that I have taken in the area of empowerment and facilitation. Now, speaking to exactly why we're here. So the third pillar of my responsibility, in the way and manner that I have described it for myself, I've talked about the legislative role, the empowerment, is the endowment. And the endowment is the reason why we are here today. That endowment is a give back, given my own experience in the corporate world. And I must confidently also admit that my wife too chose to join me in funding this endowment. And so the endowment is actually in the area of capacity building. And there's a story I would like to share on the need for this endowment. And this story speaks to my twilight in the professional banking career. After I'd done about 26 years in banking, I think maybe I should call it semi-retired. I was now invited after 26 years to come and fix a bank that was struggling after the CBN couldn't handle it any longer. And that's the story of that we all know. That's the story of Skybank. Now, but one thing that came out very instructive was that in the bank, I spent about 4 years in fixing that bank. The first 2 years was to make sure that we stabilize and put it back on the path of profitability, and make sure that all of the declining ratios that weakens the bank they turned for the better. Now, after the first 2 years, the next thing, so the bank that you hear today that is Polaris, I actually gave birth to Polaris. So that is the succeeding entity of Skybank. But the instructive thing that came out of Polaris was that after fixing Polaris, we needed to now fix the infrastructural platforms of Polaris. And part of what came out of that was that we needed to completely revamp the technology platform. The moment we did this, we realized that the staff strength that we had, close to 8,000 people, were almost going to, they were looking useless, because the new platform that we acquired now was on the digital, technology, which most people were not conversant with. So we now had to look for young people who could fix it. And to the surprise of all of us, the first set of people that we had to engage, there are people that were not parading their degrees or anything, but their certification in the way the new world has evolved, which is technology and innovation. And that was very, very instructive for somebody like me. And the only assistance I could give to the workforce as at that time was that, look, we will get this new set of people as starters, but all of us will have to engage in some sort of accelerated program to begin to understand the way the world has turned. Now, of course, by the time we did it, I think while those young people were helping us run the system, the older people in the system were trying to play catch up. So it was very clear to me when I was retiring that if there is anything I must give back to society, is the awakening that we have seen in the world today as to the way the world has evolved. So when I came on the platform of APC to stand in as the senator to fill in the gap created in 2020, as we were moving around campaigning and all of that, I noticed that older women were always approaching me at any given opportunity to appeal to me that all they are looking for is jobs for their children. That all of this running around, they see it, they know it, but what the problem is, jobs for their children. And like we all know, in Nigeria, there has always been a problem of the economy or jobs and all of that. So for somebody like me, who I will admit reasonably informed, I realized that, yes, things may be tight, but again, there are opportunities. Perhaps what most young people out of Nigerian universities, what they lack is the skills of the new way of the world, which is innovation and technology and advancement. So the moment I realized that, I said, well, as soon as I settle into office as a senator, my first project will be to set up my endowment will focus on trying to see how, in my own little space, how I can fill in this gap, and that is what gave birth to this idea. Now, thank you very much. So at this point, I would like to pause. And maybe before I pause, I should also tell you a bit about where we are. So where we are today is actually my family house. This is where I grew up. This is my father's house. And as I take you around, you will also have that feel. Those are, I will tell you like where we are. This used to be in those days we are Muslims, so more like our extension of our chapel. So our mosque in the family, and as we go around, I'll also show you. So if you also notice, I'm not sure you noticed when you were coming in, there is a major plaque outside where, my siblings were 10. The moment I sold this idea to them, they all bought into it without no dissenting voice, meaning that, look, we can actually give this back to the community. So, at this point, I will, and as we go around as well, to your right is actually the final resting place of my dad. So when we go around, you also see where it is peacefully rested. So thank you very much for your attention. At this point, I will invite the to come in and just take us through very quickly on the sale journey. Thank you very much for your attention.
I'm the Chief Impact Officer for Sale Empowerment Foundation. I want to tell us a little bit about our journey, which is the fact that this place we are in, Sale Innovation Lab, is an initiative by Sale Empowerment Foundation. And the foundation, like the Senator said, is the endowment set up by himself and his wife, so that we can give back to the community. The foundation is managed 100% and independently by a a board of trustee, and the facility itself, which is the Innovation Lab, is being managed by Co-Creation Hub, and that's to create a good corporate governance for the foundation and the lab. Our objective basically is to target 2 SDG goals, number 4 and number 8, which is quality education and decent work and economic growth. These are a theory of change. That means all the activities that we do here, they translate to a particular outcome and they create an impact. The impact that we choose to create here is to create sustainable pathway to economic prosperity for young people in Lagos. And from now, we are going beyond Lagos now. We stand on 4 major pillars. These pillars, the first one is world-class infrastructure. We believe that this infrastructure is required to be able to play in the 4th industrial revolution. Access to a good ambience, as you will see. High-powered internet connection, uninterrupted power supply, and a place that you can network with your peers and co-create things that can change the world. Apart from the infrastructure, is also the faculty. When you have a beautiful infrastructure, functional infrastructure, you need to have a faculty that can sweat that asset and be able to unlock all the potential that is possible within that place. And like Senator mentioned, we did not shy in getting the best. This is the biggest innovation lab in Africa. That's co-creation of, and they chose to partner with us to be able to deliver this dream. The 3rd pillar is in-demand programs. For every of our programs that we run here, we run them to, we identify them by being the gap that we see in the industry. Wherever people can learn something new within 3, 6 months, 9 months, and they can get a job which they can fend for their family therefrom. Those are the programs that we have and we show us as we move on. And the 4th pillar is the partnerships. We love to create partnership in 2 major areas. One is that having trained these people, they need places to work. So we have pipeline partnership we create with a lot of organizations. So every time we have a presentation like this, we also make a request. If you need, they are well trained, they are qualified, you can always send them to you to also work with you. The second one, which is partnership, is how to ensure that we sustain this place. Because the base of everything is sustainable funding. So all our partnership, we always seek for how we can get partnership to also fund what we do here. And that's because all our programs are offered free of charge. There is nobody thank you so much. There is nobody that is paying a dime for the training. And for most of the training, I will talk about how expensive they are. These are training that are very elusive to the common man. You know, only those who can afford it have been taking advantage. And but the bridge that we have brought in is to be able to see that no matter who you are, as long as you are hungry enough, you get to sell, your life can be transformed. So these are the programs that we offer. The first one is Tech Talent Development Program. It has 6 variants. The first one is software development, both front-end and back-end. Here we bring complete novice who does not have anything to do with technology, but they have interest. They can be trained within 6 months and they become a junior developer in 6 months. We have data science, we have digital marketing, is available for everyone. So the second program is, thank you so much. The second program is Startup Accelerator. This one is also for young people who have a business idea. These ones are not asking for a job, but they have an idea that can change their community. So we work with them and help them to identify how they can amplify that idea with technology. Not only that, they are mentored between 6 months to 9 months, working with experts so that they can identify and produce what we call a product market fit, taking their product to the market, and also build the capacity to attract required funding for their enterprise. The third one is STEM program for senior secondary school students. That is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This is for teenagers between the age of between 11 and 18. Basically, for those who are in public school, we go to their school, we bring them into this facility, and for every cohort, about 160 of them that will pick at the same time. They work Monday to Friday. They come and spend some hours here from their schools, and then they go back. In 12 weeks, they will have learned something around STEM education. The fourth one is Teachers Fellowship. There's no way you can impact the young ones when the teachers have not been positively impacted. So we also have a Teachers Fellowship that we run, and we teach them on what we call inquiry-based learning, a new way in which they can impact knowledge on our children, and then they also learn how to use technology to also be able to train and impact knowledge in their school. So these are all the programs. Every one of them, we should also go through our soft skills training in the area of communication, teamwork, collaboration, problem solving, and critical thinking, so that they can not only just learn the technical knowledge, but also some soft skills that they can use in out there. So this is our milestone. We've been able to train well over 8,400 people in each of these programs. Thank you so much. The last 2 years have been exciting, and we are ready to do more. So out of this we have been trained also. We have over 220 in the tech talent space who have secured decent job. When I say decent job, the minimum that these guys earn is about 200,000 a month. Some of them earn way more, and we are creating a lot of impact in their lives, and their family is being transformed. So this is our strategy for placement. This is where they are working, and they are going on a daily basis. Apart from these, I highlighted our AI because what we created with them is a pipeline. You see them here. It's that they are also our tenants here. They employ about 127 of our graduates who are working with them, and they are producing something great. I think they will still talk to us when we go to their office, what they are building with the Nigerian government. We have a very strong community that is growing on a daily basis. We run community events to also impact our people, and then we have a co-working space that have over 500 registered people who see the co-working space, and they also use it for free as of now. A lot of startups make use of it, a lot of graduates, they come here to learn and do research, and they move on. So we also, because our scope is beyond the Korodu, we have people who are coming from Ebejuleki, and it's been difficult even with the price of transportation. So we have started the concept of satellite campuses. First one, we're having in Government College, Surulere, we're having a campus there for Teachers Fellowship and STEM for senior secondary school.
So maybe I should speak to that government college. You see, I'm twisting because you see, government college is not within my district. But because that is my origin, you know, I don't have a choice but to go and set up a satellite there. So we are working on it. We are going to be 50 years on the 23rd of September, and we are hoping to commission it on that day. So that is why. So when people think that, how come you are going outside of your district? That is the reason that we are going to government college. I think
and the second one is the State Innovation and Sports Center in Ibejuleki. This is also ongoing. We are way above 35% in construction now. Very massive and wonderful sports center with innovation.
So this one is in my district. So this is in Ibejuleki.
So this is the second one. We expect that many more are also going. He has a swimming pool. He has a football center, and also a computer lab is also in the place. So basically, this is our reach as of today in terms of our online presence. We are growing on a daily basis. Thank you so much, sir.
So thank you very much. So that is that there are questions for Deji or for myself, and of course Timothy, that's the faculty lead from Co-Creation Hub. I don't know whether you want to step up there, and maybe you want to add some few lines to what has been said so far. Okay, that's Timothy.
You see the presentation and begin to connect the dots. You see that again, the approach is very scientific. Scientific in the sense that we just go ahead and begin to implement these things. Everything is built on very in-depth research, because we spoke to the young people, tried to understand what their needs are, and how we can begin to design interventions. Particularly, we adopted what we call human-centered design methodology that helps you to see what the challenges are from the eyes of those that are impacted by the problem, and also co-creating the solutions with them. So what we're doing here is really impactful, because if you see the fact that it's built on the foundation of research and how we're able to design the programs around, the needs and the challenges and, the gaps that were identified with this particular set of people. So far, I mean, the impact has been very massive. As we go around, I'm sure you begin to talk to some of our participants and alumni and see the kind of impact it will be. We've had people who come here, haven't given up on, what am I going to do with my life and things like that. But by the time we take them through our programs, upskill them, give them the requisite skills that they require, and begin to, secure decent jobs and things like that. These are people that currently are beginning to take responsibility for themselves, responsibility for their families and things like that. And I mean, that's the kind of impact that we've been seeing. And for me, it's like saying, there's this saying that, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for one day. But if you teach him how to fish, I mean, it means you're feeding him for an entire lifetime. And that's the kind of, interventions that we design here, and the kind of impact that we're seeing. And it's thanks to the Senator and, the kind of support that he's giving us in this place to make this happen.
Because of the coloration I've given myself as a senator, the moment they see a senator, blah, 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 they will just think that it's one of those scams and all that. So for now, I and my wife, we fund this 100%. That is on one part. But again, please, can you put on your your partners now? I mean, so, but you see, as we do that as well, and so that is why, again, we put some very reasonable governance in the structure that we run. So I don't get involved. So there is a board of trustees, and of course, the name is no longer Senator Abiru Innovation Lab. So we call it SAIL. So we call it SAIL Innovation Lab. So that is on one part. But again, I can also confirm to you that given the level of investment, both in terms of material and in terms of the outcomes we have been seeing, in terms of people that have been churning out of here, we are beginning to see support from NGOs. An example is the Challenge Fund out of Youth Employment in Holland. They've supported us here reasonably, and MTN is also now supporting some of the teachers. You see the teachers' number; they are actually in the forefront of the teachers that we're actually training here. So those are the kind of build-ups of the sustainability, and of course, it is good that it's coming from you, so that from your end, you also see that kind of support that will come. And it's also good that the Commissioner for Commerce is here, and I'm hoping that she will also pledge some sort of support at the minimum, just approve all our cooperatives. We want to set up our market women and for our. So I mean, it's a very, very, very important question because it's also critical. So, but that is how we're going about it, and we will not relent.
Okay, so mine is a comment and a question. And the comment first is, first of all, I want to commend you, distinguished Senator. This is incredibly remarkable, particularly incredibly apt in light of the fact that when you look at the numbers in Nigeria, and I specifically refer to Nigeria, over 200 million, of which a significant number comprise of the youth. This is incredibly relevant, and I commend you for that. This is game-changing, what you're doing.
Thank you.
And in wearing my own hat as the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, a number of investors, part of my mandate, I decided to include startups. And the reason I did that, because again, the youth, connecting all the dots, a lot of them are actually involved in startups. So a number of them have actually been coming to me. And I like what you've done here because you provided, as you said, in demand. A lot of it is framed around that. So do you know that in Lagos now, a number of our people are actually providing technical support to America, to a number of other countries, even transcending India. And so bearing that in mind, I certainly pledge, as you said, that I will be supporting and looking and working with SAIL in that regard. Number two, scalability of it. I gave you those numbers. How, and I'm just looking into Dr. Olusi's question, the scalability of it. Your thoughts on that?
Okay, so let me start with the idea, as great as it is, the issue of scaling it, given the sheer number of people we have out there, right?
Yes.
Is also, I mean, is something that any mind will worry about. Now, but for us, it's like, you see, you start small. You dream big and start small. We are gradually building it. If you go back to the statistics, we probably will have done in the last 2 years close to about 8,000. Yeah, just stop here. You can see the number of people that have passed through. You understand? You know the challenge in our environment? We provide 24/7 power supply, 24/7 internet facility. That's what you have here. So gradually we will be evolving. As we get partners, we are committed to it. I've just told you about the outreach post, the satellite locations. I mean, just spoken about government college. I'll go to Lekki. Immediately after that, I'm going to where I did my A-levels, which is Practice Academy. I will go also try and see what I can do there. Because, I mean, those are the kind of things you need to complement the education programs that even government is setting up. So I'm just hoping that as we journey along, government too, which is you now, you also find a way to support. You know, it's very, that would be my responsibility. So I appreciate your compliments. Thank you very much.
That's our So for me, it's like you said, giving back, and you give statistics capturing the demography of what the people that will benefit from this. And I dare say that you said over 60, I'll tell over 70% within this bracket that are not educated. And for me, my challenge has always been when things are available free of charge, it's important to monitor, and it's important to create a way of screening so that people don't abuse it. So I want us in the course of planning to be able to put checks and measures in place so that people will benefit from it, and they will know that you rightly alluded to the fact that it's going to be purely performance-based. So that once it's performance-based, you are able to get the indigent people to come on board, and it's not limited to anything. So I want to say on behalf of the old boys, government college, we're proud of what you're doing. We're totally in support. And you know we have the sleeve of Oliver Twist.
Thank you very much. And also, because when you go abroad today, when you enter a tube, you will see beyond English version, people are communicating with you in Arabic. I don't know what, I mean, for those who have traveled recently, you will see it. I can't remember where I was last week. I was surprised that in London, as you are seeing display in English, you are also seeing display in Arabic. I'm not sure, sir, but they feel like but that's the way the world has turned. So when are we going to get our own languages onboarded? When you get to those classes, that is what those young people are doing. Not for me, for a business that has employed them, but they are using this facility to project it. So you can imagine, so they are working here peacefully. They now have a means of livelihood. You understand? Their lives can only be better, given these basic conditions. But as they improve along, so rather than expose them to all of the injury abroad and all of that, the risk of journeying and all of that, you are kind of moderating that they are better people in the society.
First, maybe one final question.
Okay.
Before we just to build on the scale, is this project your vision for it? Is this a charity begins at home and stays at home program, or is it a charity begins at home and will extend abroad? And by that, I mean outside of Lagos is
That's a very good one. Now, you see, again, it's a matter of us. That's the way we have started. So we have started as an homegrown concept. It's like dreaming big, starting very small. But again, our desire will be ultimately to have, but I would like whatever it is, whether it's a talent city of the future, I would still like it to be situated in the area. That's number one. But I would also like, the plan is for us to be able to cater for the entire country, but we can't rush it. So for example, the teachers fellowship, you can see that the number there is very large, it's about 6,400. That cuts across the entire country, because the partnership we run with everything, we run it nationwide. You understand? Even the, I'm sure you'll have heard about the 3mm that the 3MTT that the federal government is doing in the Ministry of yeah. We also, I mean, they partner with us, so some of our people too are working under the Awari concept. So hopefully, as we get reached, as we get support from the likes of you, Madam, retired general, support. So I mean that's, I mean, but the whole idea is that, you know, for now, I mean, if you take the example of people here, you will see largely from this editorial district. But I have a strong feeling there are people from outside of this district too. But you can't chase them off. If they live around here, they are here. We are all Nigerians, and we need to make that impact to all of them.
The president was here.
Yes.
He said he was going to set up this.
Yes.
Yes. As if he was able to do it.
He's still at it. It's not easy. It's not easy. So, sir, let me say this. You know, it's not. You know, if you can have the money and not get the concept right. You can have the money but not get the concept right. And you see, it is evident across the country. Go around, you see constituency project, ICT lab. The moment they commission, please go and check it 3 months after. It is covered. Nothing is happening. You understand? So because again, you know, when you do this, you have to invest in the faculty that must be able to teach it. You have to invest. And the faculty, I tell you the truth, is more expensive than even what you are setting up. Because an intangible that is very, very expensive. And you have to be bold and committed if you are going to do it. So, but I'm still at it, and I keep nodding in that. Okay? Don't forget, it's not forgettable. Again, you know, it's really, really busy and all of that, but I'm sure you will get it done. You can listen to Baba. Oh, yes, sir.
I beg to follow the established protocol. Well, some of us are representing a class, distinguished nation, Mr. Bashon, Pastor Bashon, my Abiru, the former deputy governor of Lagos State. We belong to the class of the people who are usually described as politicians. In fact, some people will say professional, as if we do not have our own profession, as if we do not undergo any training whatsoever. And every aspect of corruption is laid at the door of politics. But principally, we are recruitment officers. We recruit people to come and serve in fatherland. And when it is necessary, to let the world know that we have been able to make pertinent contribution to the development and progress of our fatherland, I think we should let people know. Only yesterday, I was telling a group of people that it is very, very difficult to have accurate history of any people. You can never have accurate history. I am particularly delighted, particularly happy. The father of our distinguished senator wanted to serve the people when he was living. He was a distinguished lawyer. He got into the arena of politics. Was elected into the Senate. When I was being elected for the second time to the House of Reps, may his soul rest in peace. But I want to thank our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for its sightedness in bringing our distinguished senator into the role of service. He was not ready to join the area of the politicians. He's got to a stage that at that time, Asake called me and gave me the assignment that I should go and talk to him. We were not close at that time. I took the tax. I went to him at the bank. He was particular. He was carried away by his commitment, as if that is the only area that which one can serve. But today, you see, the larger avenue that is available in the area. No. And so, therefore, I want to seize this opportunity to appeal to colleagues and friends that the area of governance is an area that you need to find a way to be there and serve the people. Serve.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So I just to thank our Baba.
We sure hope you enjoyed this video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel GoldmyneTV and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.